If you've been feeling off, unmotivated, and disconnected from yourself, this is your sign to reset. Not from your whole life, just your habits. Today we're going over, if you feel lost, how to get back to yourself. Ways to recreate new habits within your life to get back to your true purpose and what you overall want to do with your life. So normally we sometimes get disconnected from ourselves from being overstimulated, using our phones too much, consuming too much energy from outside noise and people, and getting off track from what we normally would feel purposeful from doing. So this is your sign to cut out the noise, cut out the phone, cut out all of the extra distractions from your life. Whenever you have these distractions, it can normally cause lack of motivation from not wanting to go to the gym, from eating junk food, and that's causing overall just low confidence within yourself because you're not showing up as your best self. Bad food also can create brain fog, so you just overall just feeling tired and not feeling like your best self and just not being able to think clearly as well. So overall, you're not lazy. You're just overloaded. You're overstimulated with too much outside distractions and too much noise that's not channeling back to your true self. So you don't need more motivation. You just need less distractions. So what I like to do is come back to 3 things: nourishment, movement, and education. These reset my dopamine and get back to me naturally. So regarding nourishment, that is from eating whole foods, anti-inflammatory diet, going to the farmer's market, getting outside in vitamin D and picking up harvest food that's in season, cooking food at home so you know the ingredients, there's no extra inflammatory oils that are added to your foods. You're making fresh juices, smoothies, a whole food diet. No extra processed foods, no additives that are going to slow you down and creating brain fog. When you wake up first thing in the morning, making sure that you're drinking live water, coconut water, electrolytes, some warm water with lemon and a little pinch of Celtic salt or Himalayan salt that actually has minerals in it. I know for me personally, whenever I'm eating ultra processed foods, I just feel like not myself. I feel bloated, I feel sluggish, and I feel way more brain fog from just the inflammation from the food. So just think of real dopamine and a longevity is eating real foods that's going to bring real nourishment. We're not always eating for taste, we're actually eating for longevity and nourishment. The way that you fuel your body is the way that you show up in life. Be disciplined so that you can have the results in the long term. My favorite to getting back to myself is education. So whenever you're fueling yourself with education like podcasts, picking up a new certification, reading a new self-help book, or just an educational book that's going to pour into a facet of life that you really are educated, that you're really curious on. Educating yourself just allows you to show up into the rooms better. You have more that you have added to your plate, that you can show up differently, and as well as you just feel like you're now more well-rounded with more education, of course. So this is your sign to add some podcasts to your lineup whenever you're heading to work or when you're going on your walks. I'll list the ones that I've really been enjoying recently within my day-to-day, and they're very educational, from mindset, from business to health and wellness. I love reading books from psychology to nutrition to mindset to all kinds of things. I'll list the books I've been reading recently as well. But whenever you educate yourself and you're reading, it's going to calm your nervous system. You're going to slow down your thinking process so that you're not always looking to be stimulated from notifications on your phone or watching Netflix. It's just a moment to have mindfulness within yourself and just calm down your thinking process to kind of figure out what makes you feel good about yourself, and you're educating yourself at the same time. So whenever you put the phone down and you're educating yourself, this is going to be a moment to connect back to yourself, because if you're always consuming other people's energy, you're going to lose that connection within yourself. So just remember, as you're pouring into yourself, growth and education is going to build confidence, and the confidence is going to bring you right back to yourself. So my third thing to getting back to yourself is movement. That means from getting outside, being in vitamin D, going on hikes, as well as going to the gym, moving your body, going to the farmer's market. Movement can be so many things, from yoga to Pilates to walking to going on a run, joining a run club, going to lift weights with friends. There's so many ways that you can have movement that is definitely a great way to boost your confidence and build healthy habits within your day-to-day. It's one, creating discipline, and being more disciplined than motivated is a key step to being your ultimate self, because you're not going to be motivated every day, but if you're disciplined, you're going to show up better every single day. And overall, whenever you're moving your body, you feel better about yourself, so that brings confidence. And whenever you're moving your body too, for me, it's a mental reset. I could be having a stagnant day. Whenever I go move my body and go on a walk or I go to the gym, I feel like I'm always thinking a lot more clear from my true intentions of what I want to do within the day, for the week, for my life. I feel like I have a lot more clear thinking process. And we're not going to feel like going every single day, but whenever you do, you're going to feel a lot more proud of yourself, and you got to show up regardless. And you're always going to feel so much better after you get done working out. That's guaranteed. You don't want to go, but whenever you leave, you feel so much better. And within workouts and working out, you release dopamine and endorphins, and that's always going to be a natural happy drug that makes you feel better about yourself. So whenever you think of getting back to yourself, limit the quick dopamine boost. Think of the longevity of slowing down, cooking healthy meals, going on sunshine walks. Think of reading books, listening to podcasts, going to go work out, cooking and making nourishing meals like fresh pressed juices, or trying a new recipes, just ways that you really can get back to mindfulness and being in tune with yourself and what you really want, as well as boosting your own internal confidence so that you feel better about yourself and you're still curating thoughts that gets back to who you are as a core and what you want in life. Sometimes there are seasons that feel a little bit lonely and isolating, but sometimes those seasons are the most aligning seasons for you, so that you can think clearly. You can identify what you want for your life. You can identify things that really interest you and bring you true, pure happiness and joy. And sometimes that requires you to have somewhat of a lonely season. So with that being said, you don't always need to be overstimulated with things and devices and technology and people. Sometimes overall, you just need a moment of stillness for you to really get back to who you are. So this is how I get back to myself whenever I feel like I've been disconnected and just unmotivated and not my true self. It's small habits daily of being intentional is always the best way to get back to you and who you want to be whenever you feel a little disconnected and felt a little off. So it doesn't happen overnight, but small intentional habits will work. So just remember, you're not stuck, you're not lost. You've just disconnected from your intentional habits. You're not stuck, you're not lost. You just disconnected from your habits, and getting back to those is going to bring you back to yourself. So if you do have any interest or need extra accountability, I do have fitness, nutrition, and mindset coaching within my Renew Fitness app. You're more than welcome to check it out. It is linked in the bio. And I do have one-on-one coaching if you are interested and need just a little bit more of a push. But remember to start simple and start one habit at a time. You don't have to do everything overnight. You do not have to achieve everything overnight. Start with slow, small, intentional habits. One thing I will say about being in nature, for me, is it gives me a moment to be in tune with myself, my thinking process, alignment as far as what sparks my interest, what do I really want to do. Ooh, big old bug. And especially on Sundays, I need that moment to get out of my routine and get back to the simple things. No laundry folding, no dishes, just be in tune with my thoughts. And I feel like that's why it's so important for me to go hiking, or moving my bodies on Sundays. Even active recovery, because it's still a way of you getting your creative juices rolling, you know? We are back from our hike. Ooh, y'all, we did 3 miles. It felt so good to be outside, just to be in nature. I feel like we get so wrapped up, one, in adulting, two, in the hustle and bustle of just life and responsibilities and our job and mundane task of laundry and picking up clothes and washing dishes, you know, just like tasks that, for me, being in nature is the best way to calm being overstimulated all the time. Calm your mind, get back to who you are, what you want for your life, listening to your own thoughts, not consuming everyone else's energy around you. If you feel lost, if you feel off track, being in nature or moving your body is the best way to get back to you. I feel like whenever I'm not overly consuming and doing my day-to-day task, I can think more clearly. I know what I want. I know what I want to get done. I can be more creative. I can think outside of the box. I can send messages to family members that I just sometimes forget because you're just in your day-to-day task. Like, whatever the case is, I feel like being in nature is a very mindful act that you have to be within yourself. And whether that is a moment to have deep thoughts or to heal or to grieve or whatever you need to, I feel like getting in nature gets back to you. And I think it's a very great healing mechanism. We originated from being in nature, and I feel like that's the best way to get back to you as a core and not being overly consumed with everyone else's energy in your household or your Instagram notifications or your emails or work calls. So if you feel like you need to get back on track or get back to you, go get out in nature, go to the beach, go on a hike, go move your body. We're back from the hike. One thing I would definitely advise is making a nutritious green juice. I feel like that's going to pour into your body, pour into you, and it's also going to create less inflammation in your body, which sometimes inflammation causes stress and anxiety, and we don't need any of that. So today I'm making a beets, carrot, orange, celery, ginger, and turmeric juice.